Kings rose, kingdoms burned, and Europe was rewritten in blood. These rulers won battles others feared to fight, and every victory pushed them closer to ruin. Bolesław II the Bold, a king who challenged Europe. But what did his courage ultimately cost him? Keep reading. The story takes a dark turn. Bolesław II was not called the Bold by chance. His reign was marked by ambition, warfare, and a refusal to submit to stronger powers. Was he a national hero, or a reckless tyrant? The son of Casimir I, the restorer, Bolesław inherited a relatively stable Poland. Its borders were quiet, and even the Holy Roman Empire posed no immediate threat. But peace never lasts long under a warrior king. With the German Emperor Henry IV locked in conflict with Pope Gregory VII, Poland seized a rare opportunity to free itself from imperial dominance, and Bolesław was ready to strike. Once internal revolts were crushed, the king turned outward. Yet historians still debate were his campaigns driven by Polish interests or papal orders. Bohemia was his first target. Failure followed failure. Most rulers would retreat. Bolesław doubled down. Between 1061 and 1063, his armies conquered Upper Slovakia. This victory nearly sparked a war with the empire. But fate intervened. Then came Hungary, then Bohemia again. Each campaign raised Poland's power and its enemies. But the most dangerous gamble lay to the east. Twice, in 1069 and 1078, Bolesław's forces captured Kyiv. Why would a Polish king risk everything for a foreign throne? The answer lay in religion, politics, and papal ambition. Yet while the king looked east, his western borders collapsed. And at home, betrayal was already brewing. The murder of Bishop Stanislaus shocked Europe. From that moment on, Bolesław's fall was only a matter of time. Overthrown, exiled, forgotten, he died far from the throne he once ruled. A king bold enough to reshape Poland, but not to save himself. William the Conqueror, the man who took England by force. But was the throne ever truly his by right? Born a bastard, William learned early that power is seized, not inherited. And in 1066, he seized a kingdom. The Battle of Hastings changed England forever. A feigned retreat, a fatal arrow, a fallen king. One day, one battle, one new world. On Christmas Day, William was crowned King of England. Yet conquest was only the beginning. Henry IV, the king who defied Rome, twice excommunicated, once driving the Pope out of Rome. Who truly won this war? Henry IV became king at the age of 6. But who ruled when the king was a child? Kidnapped by his own vassals, Henry grew up a royal hostage. It forged a ruler who would later challenge the church itself. Civil war followed him for 3 decades. When the Pope excommunicated him again in 1080, Henry struck back by appointing a new pope, an act that shook medieval Europe. Rome fell, the Pope fled, yet victory slipped through Henry's fingers, betrayed by his sons, imprisoned, escaped, and suddenly dead. A king who dared too much. Alfonso VI, the sword of the Reconquista, an exile who reclaimed a kingdom and changed Spain forever. Defeated, betrayed, welcomed by Muslim rulers, Alfonso returned as king and launched the greatest Christian counteroffensive in Iberia. The fall of Toledo in 1085 reshaped history, but the war was far from over. After crushing defeats, personal tragedy, an endless war, Alfonso died, leaving behind a legacy carved by the sword. Vladimir Monomakh, the prince who broke the power of the wild steppe. But how did he do it? The victor over the treacherous nomadic humans, the ruler who drove them out of the vast wild steppe. Grandson of Yaroslav the Wise, son of Prince Vsevolod Yaroslavich, born in 1053, Vladimir Monomakh remains one of the most striking figures in early Russian history. But was he just a warrior or a politician? To find out, look further. His mother was the daughter of Byzantine Emperor Constantine Monomachos, the source of Vladimir's famous nickname. From birth, he stood at the crossroads of Rus and Byzantium. How did Byzantine heritage shape his strategy and rule? The answer may surprise you. Throughout his long life, Vladimir Monomakh devoted himself to uniting the Rus lands and defending them from relentless Cuman raids. Known under many names, Cumans, Kipchaks, Polovshans, this nomadic people haunted medieval chronicles across Europe and Asia. Why did so many powerful states fear the single-steppe nation? Monomakh's war with the Cumans began when he received the border principality of Pereyaslav, the very edge of civilization, facing the wild steppe. Here, one mistake meant disaster for half of Rus. From 1061 to 1210, the Cumans launched 46 major raids against Rus, most of them striking Pereyaslav land. Entire villages vanished without ever being recorded by chroniclers. The real scale of destruction is far greater than the numbers suggest. To grasp Monamic's true role, consider this. He led 83 military campaigns. Few medieval rulers in Europe ever came close to such relentless warfare. Even during his father's reign, Monamic defeated the Cumans 12 times, almost always on the steppe frontier. But his greatest victories were still ahead. The campaign of 1103. For the first time, Rus' armies marched deep into Cuman territory. The war had crossed a line. The enemy was struck where he felt invincible. When news reached the steppe camps, the Cuman khans gathered in alarm. They were certain they could crush the invaders. That confidence would cost them dearly. At the Battle of the Malaknaya River, the Cumans suffered a catastrophic defeat. 20 khans were killed. This single battle changed the balance of power forever. The winter campaign of 1111. Monamic's boldest move came when Rus' armies advanced in winter, traveling on sledges through snow-covered steppe, a decision that defied every rule of steppe warfare. After crushing the Cuman strongholds on the Don, the nomads fled west and south, to Hungary, beyond the Danube, and even to Georgia. An entire people abandoned the wild steppe. For decades afterward, Rus' southern borders were quiet, trade revived, agriculture moved south. This was not just a victory, it was a transformation. Bohemond of Taranto, hero of the First Crusade, or brilliant opportunist, savior of the First Crusade, ruler of Antioch, defeater of Muslim emirs, and enemy of Byzantium. Bohemond of Taranto embodied the contradictions of the crusading age. Was he driven by faith, or by ambition alone? The son of Robert Guiscard, Bohemond learned war early, fighting Byzantines and Muslims alike. He understood both enemies better than most crusader leaders. Answering Pope Urban II's call in 1095, Bohemond abandoned his Italian lands for the promise of power in the east. He was not seeking salvation, he was seeking a throne. At Dorylaeum, Bohemond's leadership saved the Crusader army from annihilation. Without him, the First Crusade might have ended in Anatolia. His greatest triumph came at Antioch. Through betrayal, bribery, and bloodshed, the city fell. One night decided the fate of the entire crusade. When the Crusaders themselves were besieged, Bohemond imposed iron discipline and led a desperate breakout. Fear, order, and timing won the day. Yet after Antioch, he went no further. Jerusalem no longer mattered. Why did the Crusade's greatest hero stop short of its holy goal? Defeated later at Haran and humiliated by Byzantium, Bohemond returned to Italy as a legend and a failure. So how should history remember him? The answer isn't simple.